Do you want to rent out your property on Airbnb but are terrified of having a guest damage your place? We've hosted thousands of guests over the last 2 years, and while the vast majority are very nice and respectful people, we have had experiences of really disrespectful and nightmare guests.
And in today's video, we're going to share how you can prepare yourself for these kind of guests and how to make them pay for the damages that they've caused to your property.
We are the Real Estate Robinsons. Being an Airbnb host comes with ups and downs like most things in life, right? But nothing will bother you more than when you have an Airbnb guest that disrespects your property and causes intentional or accidental damages.
Now, this is what we hear is one of the biggest obstacles or fears for people interested in investing in short-term rentals, is that fear of having strangers coming into your property and not knowing what they're doing or how they're treating your house.
Living in that state of what if isn't gonna give you that passive income you're looking for. So in today's video, we're gonna break down your mental fear of how to handle a bad guest and how to make sure you have them pay for the damages they cause.
Now, let's start by saying that out of all the thousands of people that have stayed at our properties, I'd probably say that maybe there's been 10 to 15 actually bad guests, like bad, and maybe just like another 100 regular bad guests, and we feel like those are pretty good statistics. So you shouldn't not list on Airbnb because of the slim chance that you'll have these crappy guests.
All right, let's break down the 4 different types of guests. All right, so the first is the bad guest. These are the ones that will break and damage things and don't say anything, super annoying, and they leave the place super disgusting and make your cleaners work overtime, and then maybe it'll interfere with your next guest check-in now, and you need to replace broken and damaged items, call your handyman to fix things, they didn't follow the check-in instructions, and they just refuse to check out by the listed checkout time, and so on.
Second is the regular bad guests. These are the ones that don't follow the checkout instructions, like leaving all their dirty dishes for the cleaners, maybe they left the place more messy than the average guest does, they broke and damaged a dish and didn't say anything.
Third is the complete opposite. These are the insanely nice and you can only dream of type of guests that pretty much leave the place like they found it, with the beds remade, the towels still hung up, and the place is pretty spotless. And while this is so sweet, the only downside is that it can make our cleaners believe that the bed and towels weren't used, and then they might leave them in that way. So not my preferred style.
Fourth is the most common type of guests, and these are the guests that follow all of your house rules, they follow the check-in and check-out instructions, they communicate just enough, and they leave the place like a regular person that just stayed here, right? Now, this is the majority of what you can expect as an Airbnb host.
100%.
You're a good egg.
So now that we've hopefully helped put your mind at ease a little bit on how little you actually have to deal with this situation, let's discuss what Airbnb will do for you as a host if this does occur.
So Airbnb offers something called Air Cover, which includes both damage and liability protection. So Host Damage Protection provides hosts with $1 million in coverage in the rare event your place or belongings are damaged by a guest during an Airbnb stay. So Airbnb can have your back if they feel it's called for.
Promise, I got you guys.
Now, this is straight from Airbnb, but let's go over exactly what Air Cover is. So they say the host damage protection covers you for damage to your place or belongings caused by a guest or others, unexpected cleaning costs you incur due to the behavior of a guest or others during an Airbnb stay, income lost if you need to cancel a confirmed booking due to damage caused by a guest or others. Host damage protection doesn't cover damage from wear and tear due to ordinary and reasonable use, loss due to acts of nature like earthquakes and hurricanes, injury or property damage to guests or others. Those may be covered by host liability insurance, and then other exclusions apply.
Air Cover also includes host liability insurance, which provides hosts with $1 million in coverage in the rare event a guest gets hurt or their belongings are damaged or stolen while they're staying at your place. People who help you host, like co-hosts and cleaners, are also included in this, so you can feel confident about hosting on Airbnb.
Air Cover for hosts and its benefits are always included and always free. So simply by agreeing to list or continuing to list a property on Airbnb, you're automatically covered whenever you host a stay on Airbnb. So there's no opting in that you have to do.
Host liability insurance covers you if you're found legally responsible for the following: A, bodily injury to a guest or others; B, damage to or theft of property belonging to a guest or others. C, damage caused by a guest or others to common areas like building lobbies and nearby properties. Host liability insurance does not cover damage or injury resulting from something done intentionally, damage to your place or belongings caused by a guest. That's covered by the damage protection that we just talked about, and other exclusions apply.
Now, whether the guest is kind enough to tell you about the damage themselves, or if your cleaner walks into the property and sees the damage, the most critical step is to ask for as many photos and videos as you can so you can gather as much evidence as you can. So make sure you get these photos before your cleaning team cleans or fixes whatever damage was caused, because obviously if they give you the photo afterwards, it's hard to show what the damage was, right? Now, this is important because in order to submit a claim, you need to include photos and hopefully videos, and it's obvious your claim will get escalated if you have more evidence to show.
So once you have the photos, you need to go to that guest reservation, click on details, which will then open up the reservation, then scroll all the way to the bottom until you get to the support section of the page and select send or request money. Then click request money. Then it'll ask you what is the request for, and the options are damaged, missing items, or unexpected cleaning as one option, extra services as another option, and other trip related issues as the last option. So click whichever option best applies to your situation. Then it'll ask you how much money you would like to request from this guest. And obviously this is completely up to you, so you can choose that number.
Yeah, and I would always try and ask for more, right? Like if you need to replace the couch, ask for the entire couch replacement cost. Just overstate it because you're probably gonna have to go back and forth with them anyway. So start high and then, work your way down.
So once you've submitted the number, then it'll ask you to upload the attachments. And this is where you'll need to upload those photos you received from your guest or cleaner for evidence. Then there's a section where you can add a note to the guest to let them know why you're requesting that money from them, so they will see that note. You can review all the details of your claim before you officially submit it, so make sure you review before you submit. You can't really edit it. You'll need to delete the claim and then submit a new one. Keep in mind that you will need to submit this claim within 14 days of that guest's checkout.
And that's actually new with AirCover. So when we first started hosting, you had to get your damage claim in before the next guest checked in. So it was like a mad scramble anytime there was damage to try and get all these photos and evidence submitted. So this 14-day window is new, and obviously it's beneficial to the host.
So after you submit your claim request, your guest will have 24 hours to pay. They have an option of either accepting or declining your request. So they won't necessarily pay it. They will respond in 24 hours, I guess. And if they decline to pay the full amount or just don't respond to your claim, you'll be able to then involve Airbnb support through the AirCover Tony just mentioned.
So keep in mind that if you want to involve Airbnb support or AirCover, you will need to do so using the AirCover option and submit evidence of the damage within 30 days of the damage that occurred.
So it won't automatically get,
assigned to AirCover. You have
to
escalate as the host.
Yeah. So don't forget that.
Yeah. So once you escalate, you'll be assigned a representative that will look over your claim. And essentially they start to work as like a mediator between you and the guest. So they'll ask the guest for their side of the story. They'll ask you for your side of the story, ask you both to submit any evidence that you have. And then ultimately Airbnb will make a determination in terms of who gets paid and who doesn't. So it's almost like a little mini court trial.
Yeah.
But it's through Airbnb.
We recently set up a new property and we messed up by ordering a white couch. I know, obviously, super bad move. We weren't supposed to Airbnb it, so long story short. But anyways, it was a white couch. We were renting it out on Airbnb. They were probably like the third or fourth guest we had stay there.
Third guest.
And they checked out and our cleaners were shocked at the state of the property. They completely dirtied the hell out of this white couch. They also damaged a nightstand and they left a place a complete disaster. The hot tub was so gross it needed to be completely drained and refilled, which isn't typically done. And we only found out about all this until they checked out and our cleaner sent us photos. So obviously we were pissed. I was fuming. I was so upset because it was one of our newest listings. So we immediately sent a request for payment and they quickly denied it and said it was already like that.
Which is a lie.
That's what he said about the couch, that it was already like that. I was like, girl, you're like our third guest, right? Anyways, so I was pissed and air cover just came out and I was like, I'm going to use the hell out of this air cover. So they denied it. And that's when I submitted the request for air cover support, and this is how it went.
But before we tell you the rest of this horror story with our new white couch, we'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that little bell for notifications. We actually just crossed over 20,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And every new subscriber really does mean a lot to us. So we have a goal of getting to 50,000 subs by the end of the year. So please, please, please subscribe and share the content. Also, connect with us on Instagram. I'm at Tony J. Robinson, and my lovely wife is at Sarah Rad. And if you're on TikTok, you can follow us there at The Real Estate Robinsons.
We've also got a totally free download for all of our subscribers. If you head over to alphageekcapital.com/calculator, we've put together a free tool that helps you analyze properties that you're considering purchasing as a short-term rental. Last, if you're not yet an Airbnb host, which you should be, sign up using our link in the description. You'll get a cash bonus for signing up, and we'll get a small cash bonus as well for referring you. So once we requested air cover support, I quickly received an email from someone that was titled Airbnb Claims Team Member, and this is what they requested. This is her words. A few types of documentation will be required throughout the host damage protection process. This is to ensure that all requests have the fullest support possible under host damage protection. It'll also allow us to timely and adequately evaluate your reimbursement request and the amount of loss for each item included in the request. She requested the following documents to support our reimbursement request. Number one, for the couch, we needed to submit an estimate/invoice on company letterhead of stain removal service or upholstery service and the web link to a similar couch. Number two was for the hot tub. So we needed to submit an estimate/invoice of professional cleaning service. And number three, for the damaged nightstand, we needed to submit original purchase receipt and web link to like-kind nightstand/receipt or replacement of nightstand. So she also gave me a 3-week deadline, which I thought was nice, to gather all of these items. She confirmed that she received my email and she said she's looking over everything once I sent her back all of that she requested. And then 5 days had gone by and I still was very upset. So I hadn't heard from her, so I just followed up with that team member. So this was my representative helping me out with this. So reached out to her, she asked for documentation, took me a little bit, but I got all of it and sent it to her, and that's where we're at.
So she finally responded and she said, yes, I have reviewed your claim. I apologize for the delayed response. I just have one question. Was the sofa cleaning attempt successful? Could you remove the stains? If not, please send me photos of the current sofa state. So you can see like Airbnb is not just like rolling over, right? Like they're really making you as the host.
This process took like, I would say 2.5-ish weeks.
So you can see that they're really putting the pressure or the onus on the host to prove what the damage was, which, you know, I understand. So just know as you go into this process, it's not going to be quick and easy. You got to make sure that you're coming with the receipts.
Yes.
So we explained how our cleaners had already tried twice to get the stains out of the couch, and we sent her a photo of what the couch currently looked like. Then she responded and requested that we get an upholstery estimate because the couch doesn't have any structural damage. So again, remember, it was just a bad stain on this white couch. But like the frame of the couch, the structure of it was fine. So she said, reach out to an upholstery company, see if they can fix it for you.
So then 4 days went by and we finally got the news we were looking for after we submitted that invoice. I got the email saying, hi Sarah, I'm happy to let you know that after a full review of all relevant documentation and communication, we've determined that your request qualifies for reimbursement under host damage protection. I was so happy. Do you remember? No, I don't even think Tony was like that, like tripping over it that much, but I was pissed off of this guest.
We're over here like getting hotels under contract that cost like $7 million and she's jumping up and down about getting this reimbursement for this couch.
Like the level of disrespect, man.
The disrespect is real around it.
And the fact that he was so like...
The guest.
Yeah, the guest was like,
It was already like that.
girl, I just bought that couch. No, it was not. So I was pissed and I was coming for my money and I got it in this email.
Yeah, so basically they approved us not for a full replacement of the couch. I think we spent $1,200 on the couch.
Yeah, and that's what we requested, but obviously didn't get that.
Yeah, but they gave us $505.56. So even down to the pennies, they were able to calculate that.
So let's break down what they compensated us for. So the couch upholstery quote I received was for $300, so they gave me that in full. The nightstand, like the same one to replace it, was $105.56, so they gave me that completely. I had to pay my pool guy an extra $100, so they gave me that. So that was the grand total.
So kind of a lengthy and time-consuming process, and honestly, there were multiple times throughout this where I told Sarah, I was like, babe, just give up. I was like, you're wasting too much time on this thing.
I was like, nope.
But you know,
I'm gonna keep going.
But it felt nice to have the support from Airbnb in this situation.
Yeah.
So we're not entirely sure if the guest has to pay this amount or if it was just covered by Airbnb itself.
I hope it was the guest, but
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was
it's
either,
Airbnb.
yeah.
But regardless, we're a little less annoyed about the situation, and we're happy to keep hosting because now we know that air cover does work, right?
Yeah, and they have our back, and you can shoot your shot and request that refund or that payment. Well, that's it, guys. That is how you can submit claims for damages at your property, but hopefully you won't ever need to do this. So fingers crossed. If you have any follow-up questions, please drop a comment below and we'll do our best to answer it. That's it for today. I'm Sarah.
I'm Tony.
And we are the Real Estate Robinsons.